Hello, this is Nick Bertozzi on behalf of the teaching team for RBE 2001. I'd like to welcome you to the course. We're really looking forward to working with you during C term. And since we have a little bit of time, extra time before classes start, so I thought it'd be a good idea for you to, as you have time, to try and get started on working on learning some of the things that you'll need for the course. So there are some assignments on learning how to use SolidWorks and also MathCAD. So you can see this is on the page right here. You can take a look at the syllabus if you want to. This is the current draft right here. It has different dates for the topics that we'll be covering, and you can see that there's a to-do list over here, and these are some quizzes that are based on some videos that you can watch. Same thing down here, okay? Um, and while we're here, there's also, we use this Google Calendar for the course. So as the SAs and TAs get assigned, they'll be filling in their hours so that you'll be able to, go at any time to this calendar and see who's available if you have some help. And like if you click on my office hours will be done using Zoom. So there's my Zoom ID is just Nicholas Bertozzi. Um, but anyways, if we look at this first quiz, so there's a set that are due, of 5 quizzes that are due on Sunday after you get back. So it'd be, again, you can, I'm going to turn the course on so you can get started on these right away. So here's the instructions. You watch these 2 videos from the SolidWorks playlist, and the best thing to do is to, watch the videos, open up SolidWorks, and a little bit later in this video we'll explain how you can load SolidWorks on your own computer or use it on one of the school's computers. But anyways, so you can watch the videos and then try the stuff and then do the quiz. The quiz isn't timed. This first one, actually, you can see there's 2 attempts. After that, the rest of them will just have 1 attempt. And you can keep the videos open while you take the quiz, so you can always go back and watch a section of video again if you're not sure about one of the questions. But these are not team quizzes, right? So you're on your honor not to ask any of your teammates or other students. And if you're a student and you've taken the quiz and you know the right answers, then you're on your honor not to tell any of the other students what the answers are to the quiz, of course. So let's see. Okay, so then there's 5 of those on SolidWorks, and then there's one on MathCAD. Okay, so if I go over to modules, so they're under this part right here explains how to, install SolidWorks on your own computer or use this Frame VDI. Again, that'll be covered a little bit later. And so if you go to additional materials, these are just some template files and some sheet format files that you can download and then just change the names in them to your own name. But here's the playlist for SolidWorks. And so if I click on that, so the first video is just this welcome video. And after that, you can see that there's a set of videos on how to create parts, create assemblies, and then create drawings with bill of materials. So it looks like there's a lot here, but if you just do a few a day, they're only, most of them are only less than 5 minutes long. And yeah, so go back here. And then there's other stuff. There's some stuff on Git. We're actually going to be using Visual Studio Code rather than Git, so we won't be using Git. But there's some videos here in case you want to learn some more about Git. And if you want a refresher on C programming, there's a playlist. There's a whole bunch of short videos here. These are really good on C programming. And then we have a video on object-oriented programming as well. And then you can also get started, like you can look at the pre-lab playlist if you want to, and look at some of the introductions to lab equipment. So at any rate, one other thing I'll point out here is that you can go to github.com WPI Robotics Engineering, and then ZenRobot Build Kit. And so if you've used the ROMI in your 1001 course, then you'll be able to use that chassis again. But basically, if you look at these bill of materials, for people who are going to be remote, if you don't already have like a multimeter, a spring scale, whatever you might want to buy from the bookstore, these will become available soon as a tools kit or a consumables kit. It's just some wires. And so, if you already have this stuff, then you can just use your own stuff. But like I said, you should expect to at least have a soldering iron, and digital multimeter, and spring scale. And then so there's those two kits. And then in 1001 we use the ESP32, but in 2001 we're going to be using the 32U4. So there's really four kits that additional kits that you need. The 32U4 processor kit. If you've already used the ROMI, if you did 1001 with a ROMI, you already have that chassis kit, so you don't need that. And you should already have the sensors kit. The only thing you might need if you don't have one already is, I think in the original sensors kit, there wasn't the remote. So here's the remote we'll be using. I think it's only about $5. And then here's the 2001 add-on kit, which has this additional motor with an encoder and some other stuff, transistors, relay, and the diode there. So again, there's the consumables and the tools kit. If you're remote, then there's the four kits, the 32U4, the chassis kit, sensors kit, and the 2001 add-on. If you already have the ROMI, then you shouldn't need the chassis kit or the sensors kit if you did 1001 in A or in B term. But we'll be sending out more information on that, and this is all stuff you can order from the bookstore. And if you're going to be remote, what we did in A term is we had a lot of the lab assistants do a lot of the soldering for you before sending out the ROMI kit, just to try and cut down on some of the problems with I know that some people haven't done a lot of soldering, so the LAs would do that just to try and cut down on some of the issues that we might have. Okay, so again, so what I'd really like you to do, yeah, this is a really good video that Kevin made, by the way, on Kevin's how to solder video. That's definitely worth watching if you're going to be doing some soldering. Okay, so if we go back to home here, again, I just want to point out or emphasize that you can get all these done ahead of time. And again, like I pick on this one here, right? So these are the two videos on that playlist that you want to watch before you take this quiz. Okay, so next we want to talk about how to either get SolidWorks loaded onto your own machine or use the WPI solid. So on this page, we have information about using remote desktop and SolidWorks. So remote desktop, you can just use the Windows, just use the remote desktop and go to windows.wpi.edu, and you'll be able to access MathCAD and MATLAB. You can also access SolidWorks there, but this machine, the Frame VDI, is a much more powerful machine for running SolidWorks. So that would be what you'd want to use. So you have the choice of either installing it on your own computer, and the instructions for doing that are given here. I found that I had to try the download a number of times, and I had to use RoboCopy to actually get it to work. And then I'm just trying to test it out to see how much difficulty students might have. And I downloaded it on an older computer I have at home, and it took a while to download, and then I was having some graphics cards issues. So if you have a really powerful, fast new computer, then you might want to just install the SolidWorks on your own machine. The serial number that you have to use is given in the instructions here. On the other hand, if you don't have a real powerful computer, you might be better off just using this frame VDI. So I just want to go through the process of actually connecting that to your OneDrive so that you have access to your files. Because when you're on this machine, um, you know, it's located at WPI, and when you sign off, you lose anything that's saved on that particular computer. So you want to be able to save stuff to OneDrive. So let's just go through how to load this. And so you want to use Frame VDI. Just click on this button over here, and then you want to sign in with WPI login. And I'm already logged in here, so click on desktop. Yeah, so I actually paused the video. It is taking a little bit of time to log in here. All right, so now we're on the machine here, and you can see it says a virtual machine will disappear when your session disconnects. Please save your work to your computer or OneDrive. So here we have SolidWorks 2020, and down over here, you can see that you can upload files. But the problem with doing that is you have to upload them. If you have a large assembly, you have to select all the files that you need. And then you have to remember to save them. And then you have to decide if you're going to override them or not when you put them back on your own computer. So I think the better thing to do is just to go ahead and open up SolidWorks. Okay, so now SolidWorks is open. And then if you want to work on your assembly or your parts, just hit the open folder there. And you can see that there's a OneDrive, but there's nothing in it. Okay, so that's not connected to your OneDrive at this point. So what I find the easiest thing to do is just to right click on it and then select open in new window. Okay, and then you wait just a minute, and then it brings this up. So now you can put in your own email address. Okay, and then it's going to ask you for your password, and you're going to have to send it will send a code to your cell phone. Okay, so and then so after you log in, you get these windows, and I'll just go through and select next, 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 and later, and open my OneDrive. So now I can just close these. But over here on the open window for SolidWorks, now I have my own OneDrive. So I'm just using this as an example here. So now let's see, I'll go to this project right here and go ahead and open up this assembly. Okay, so now I have this assembly open, and this is just a model that I'm playing around with a little bit of the field, and I'm just going to shut off shadows and the real-time graphics, real view graphics. And yeah, so now you can see this works pretty well. You know, I have a somewhat moderately complicated assembly here, and I can, you know, do different things. It scrolls pretty quickly. You know, I can move different stuff around here. So so I think, you know, this machine works pretty well. The one thing that you do have to do though is if like I don't particularly like the way this the environment is set up here, so I usually fly that out, hit the little pin there, and then go to tools, and let's see, yeah, go to customize, and then so if I'm going to use the assembly, I usually don't like that command manager on. So this is just your own personal preference. But the problem is, so like if I want to put on just the toolbars that I'm interested in using right now, So let's see, sketch. I like standard views, and I'm going to turn off task panes, task panes. And so now I have the environment set up the way I want to, with just the toolbars that I have. But I have to do that. It only takes a minute, but I have to do that every time I log into this machine because it's not going to remember the settings that I had. The other thing is under the different options. So for instance, one of the things you're going to learn when you go through the SolidWorks tutorials is that you can set up your own templates and sheet formats and then set the file locations. But again, that has to be done each time. So like for instance, if I want to add, so I would have to go to here. I have the sheet formats under this right, the templates right there. So I'm going to select that folder. And then if I want to do the sheet formats, right there, and I'm going to add and go back to sheet formats, select that. Okay, and now let's see if I can do this. So this is a little bit, you can see I can't get down to the button where I can say save. So one of the things you have to be aware of with this is sometimes you have to change the resolution. So let me change, let's see if I change it to here. All right, so now I can select, OK, and accept those settings. So now I have access to my templates. So, again, it's not a big deal. Sometimes it takes a couple of minutes just to, I'm just going to set this back to dynamic now. So there's a little quirky things. Like I said, sometimes you have to reset the resolutions just for some of the dialogues boxes. For some reason, you can't get to some of the buttons if it's, you might not have that problem at all. I know I'm running like off a second monitor off my laptop right now. But anyways, so now the nice thing is any changes I make to this, I'll just hit save when I'm done, and they'll go on to my these files are all coming off my OneDrive. I don't have to remember which ones I need to save or which ones I uploaded, and now I need to download back to my OneDrive. So that's why I would really recommend that you do it that way. Just go ahead and in Open SolidWorks, click on the Open folder, and then right click on the OneDrive, and then you can log into your own OneDrive, work on all the files from there, and when you hit save, they're saved right back to your OneDrive. So anyways, I think this is a pretty good solution though, especially if you don't have a really powerful computer. And then this box comes up pretty often here, free up space, and I'll just hit dismiss on that. But anyways, when you're done, if I hit save here, and I can get out of SolidWorks, I don't need to save anything. And then you can just hit this button down here, and then just go ahead and close your session. Okay. All right, so that's a little bit about SolidWorks. And then on this link right here in this module, you can see here's the playlist for SolidWorks. So if I click on this, this will just be the welcoming video, and then you can see here's the videos that you'll watch. And again, the best way to do this is to watch a few and then go ahead and try it on SolidWorks on your own. And the other thing I'll just point out is I have some sheet format files here and some SolidWorks template files. So these aren't videos, these are actually files. And after you watch the videos, you'll get a better idea of what these are. And you're free to download these. And obviously, you can name them with your own initials. And then, for instance, in the format sheets with title blocks or things like that, you can then just modify them with your own names. But you're free to use any of these files. Okay, and then here, this is the force analysis playlist that was done by Ken Stafford. if you want to do a review of some force analysis. We will be using Git. So here's some resources for learning Git. This one right here, which is the Poets playlist, pretty goofy, but starts at a very basic level, and I think is pretty good. And then if you want to review some of your C programming, this is a good playlist right here that you can look at, and object-oriented programming and so on. And then the MathCAD playlist is right here, MathCAD Introduction playlist. So some of these other links, I'm going to be updating the videos, but the main thing you want to focus on right now is this playlist for SolidWorks and taking the quizzes, and then we'll, as I mentioned, the Sunday, I think it's September 6th, the MathCAD quiz will be due. So if you have time, you can start looking at the MathCAD playlist now as well. The playlist for SolidWorks, it is an older version of SolidWorks, but as far as I can tell, it's the things that I've talked about there are still pretty much the same. The school just loaded SolidWorks 2020 last week, so we have the most current version now available for SolidWorks. So just another thing I'll mention is if you click on people, you'll see that there are teams and project/lab teams. And so if you have some students that that you've worked with before and you want to be on their team, then you can go ahead, just find an empty team and have all of you add their names to that team. We will have 7 students who will be unable to be on campus, so I'm going to put each of them in a team, and I will be asking, in other words, I want to have them on a team of 3 people, where the 2 other people on their team are actually on campus, and we'll have access to all the equipment in Foisey Lab. But anyways, as I've said earlier, the main thing right now is if you could start working through the SolidWorks videos and either load SolidWorks on your computer, your own computer, or like I said, that other system, that other machine the school has set up now seems to be really good for running SolidWorks. And make sure you have your OneDrive all set up. And yeah, so we'll look forward to seeing you soon.